Welcome everybody. Sifoluwa Tobi is here. On today's training, I just want you to pay attention to this technique, and I'm going to show you reason why Wing Chun is very scientific, right? So because Wing Chun study human form, so because our attack sometimes destroy opponents. So that is why Wing Chun is very dangerous in using, right? Because we study our opponent's nerve. So right, up stand still. So like this, I want to just give you tip, right? But if you want to know full technique on this, and this technique is just like you are locating your opponent dangerous part, right? So first thing for the opponent, and that is why Wing Chun sometimes are not allowed for sport, right? It's like this. So if I want to punch, I don't just punch. So if your opponent want to punch right here, you punch here. If you punch your opponent forehead, so that you have already created an effective hit on your opponent. So that is that about that. And the reason why Wing Chun is too scientific is that no matter how powerful your opponent punch may be, if you use this part shall right here, because you don't use it too much. If you use it too much, that means if your opponent is too huge, if your opponent power is too powerful, right? It's going to control your entire body to this side, right? And your opponent is going to go for the second punch. Bounce. Your opponent punch is going to enter you. So that is why we use it like this. So if you want to use your part, so just let your hand be like this and you go like this. So you just open a narrow hole, a narrow space for you to attack. So don't open it too wide. So that is why Wing Chun is too scientific, right? So no matter how powerful your opponent may be, that is going to deflect his punch, right? So like this. So that is that. So that is that. You open a narrow hole. If it is stands out, so because it gets we get some technique and some logic that we use on tanshao in order not to create a painful hit on your joint right here, or you will be feeling some pain if at all you want to use your tanshao on somebody that is too hot, or somebody that is his punch is very powerful, right? If you like this and your opponent punch, we study to redirect a little bit, let our elbow hang. So that is why Wing Chun is too scientific, right? So you place your hand at a easy point in order to let it be very powerful. But if you do it wrong, so if your opponent punch is too hard or is too strong, it's going to destroy your tanshao or dislocate your joint, right? Your tanshao joint, right? This is your tanshao. So you just go like this. So you just let your elbow hang and you a little bit shift, you a little bit turn your body, but not too. You don't turn your body too much, right? So you just go like this. So that is that. So that is that. So that is on tanshao. You now punch your opponent. So and you open, like I said, you open a little hole. You open a little space. You create a little space to attack your opponent at once at the same time. So like this. So sorry. So that is that about that. If it is you want to use it from inside, right? Your opponent punch. So that is that. So just go like that. So that is that. So you a little bit let your elbow be in. So don't let it be like this. So if your elbow is like this and your opponent you put more pressure. So I'm feeling some pain right here because uh, my elbow is outside. But if my elbow is in, put more pressure, 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 pressure. So as you can see, sorry, he is the one that will be feeling that pain. That pain. So that is why I said Wing Chun is very scientific, right? So and at the same time, if you are attacking, we don't just attack our opponent. So we apply our opponent nerve, right? So if I want to chop my opponent's head off, I don't just chop his head off. I apply on this vein, the vein at his or at his neck side, right? So to paralyze this side. So just go like that. So now you can now punch him. So that is that about that. So and if I apply like that, so I apply like that. If my opponent is punching, for him to reduce this punch, it will be very difficult for him. But he can easily use this hand to defend himself by giving me another punch, right? So as I am punching, so I can now easily shift to this side also. So that is the scientific movement that is that is combined to Wing Chun to make it more effective and more deadly. So that is why sometimes they don't accept Wing Chun for sport. It is self-defense because you are going to destroy. But if you know the correct way or the correct use of your Wing Chun technique, is going to destroy your opponent at once, and you're going to move out of that scenario. So that is that about that. So just go like that. So if at all your opponent now use 2 punch, right? So you can easily apply on your opponent testicle. Sorry. So you can easily apply on your opponent testicle, right? See, sorry. But if you now go for your opponent testicle, so if you are on the spot, you are going to be disqualified because that is very intentional. So that is that about that. If at all, even if your opponent use single punch, right, you now go like that. So at the same time, so go like this and you control him. Your opponent is going to fall down. So and you are going to destroy your opponent. So that is that. So what I just use is like this. So that is that about that. So so kick him right here. You now control him. Use your palm strike on his face, right? So to destroy him. So that is that, and that is why Wing Chun is very effective and it carry along with destructible heat. So and that is why it is very dynamic and it is designed for street fight, right? So that's that about that. If you want to know more about my Wing Chun technique, hit me up at the comment section that you want to join my personal online training, in which I'm going to teach you everything in full details in a way that you are not going to forget it and you are going to get it right, and you are going to be thanking me, and you are going to be satisfied if you train with us, and our certificate is legit, so and it is well recognized. So that is that about that. So hit me up if you want to join my personal online training, and subscribe if this time is the first time you are watching my YouTube video, so that you won't miss interesting video like this. So that is that about that. Thank you. I keep on training. Peace and out.